unbeatable. We'll train until we meet our goal. The stakes are high, no we won't fold, because we are unbeatable. We are unbeatable. We'll train until we meet our goal. If stakes are high, no we won't fold, because we are unbeatable.
Welcome to the world of Pokemon, and thank you guys so much for joining us on today's episode of Unbeatable. It's so nice to have everybody here. We are outside of Vermilion City at this exact moment, as currently our trainers stand outside of our route as there is an unconscious Rhydon laid out before them, and most of their Pokemon, I'm pretty sure, are fairly injured at this point. At this point, you are all standing over this Pokemon that you've just defeated. I believe you are still on the search for a very specific feathered Pokemon on this route that you know not what the species is yet. I almost said what the species was. That's why I had to. That's why that was a weird pause. You want to try that? You want to try that again? No, I'm good. But as you guys are there, what are you guys doing right now? As you have just like completed this like very badass battle, what are we doing?
I'm picking up Poblano because Poblano launched himself across the field twice. So I'm like, and I like run over, scoop him up. Are you all right? You look so cool flying through the air.
Bublio! You see that like there is like obviously a little bit of injury. I mean, especially because this Pokemon. What's the current wounds that Poblano's at actually? Before I answer this,
2 minor and a major.
Poblano looks at you guys like, Bublio! And he's like excited to continue fighting, but also it's a little bit of that like woozy thing of like, oh, head rush, yeah, sort of like spinning. I've taken a lot going on.
Oh, all right there. Easy, settle on down. We're just gonna, and I'm gonna return him back to his ball and put him away.
100%.
I don't think we need to do that no more.
The other two of you, what are you up to at this exact moment?
Is this Rhydon one that we need to catch and return?
Yeah, we were gonna bring it to the professor.
Because it was displaced, right?
Yes, this is one of those displaced Pokemon that the professor was hoping that you would capture and bring back to him.
Nice.
Sweet.
Pelt it with a Pokeball.
Okay, great. I turn, I look at Seth and I'm like, well, nicely. I'll do it nicely.
No, don't actually. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull out just a regular Pokeball, and I'll go ahead and attempt to catch the Rhydon.
Okay, yeah. I believe regular Pokeballs catch rate of just +1, so go ahead and roll your 2 separate D20s because you're an athlete.
You know I will. It is a...
If you mess this up, I don't know how you're gonna show your face.
No. Okay. I literally can't. It's a...
Just beam Seth on the face with it.
32.
Yeah.
It's a critical catch.
Yeah.
You got 2 Rhydons?
There's a moment where glitches and the Pokemon duplicates. Because like even looking at the bonus, like 15 plus the rank of the Pokemon should be 21 minus 5 because it's fainted, so go back down to 16. Yeah, you absolutely wrecked this.
Ooh.
So as you toss the Pokeball, you do hit it. Luckily, this is a Pokemon that has like a rock hard exterior. So the Pokeball just bounces off and it opens up, absorbs the Rhydon, and it hits the ground. Click. And you have successfully captured Rhydon at this point in time.
Incredible. As I go to pick up the Pokeball, I'm going to pass by Myrtle, and I'm going to rub her little war turtle head, and I'm going to be like, atta girl, that was incredible.
I'm going to shove a bunch of orange berries into Boo's mouth. Chew those up. There you go.
It's that thing where it's very hard to fill the exact volume of this fucking giant like crocodile mouth, but you manage it somehow. Given that orange berries are like fist-sized berries, you gotta shove them all in there.
It's more of a like a, it's like, you know, you have those trash cans that you step on and it opens. It's like that, but it's branch.
It's like Hungry Hippos where you gotta like,
just like reaching in my bag, grabbing one,
hungry crocodile.
Yeah. Also, for Kenna's benefit, you seem surprised at this. The average berry size is about the size of a peach. In terms of when you imagine a Pokemon berry, they're always like fist sized, like they hold them like
Those
this.
are so large. Okay.
There you
I'm gonna
go.
need a
I'm sitting here, my whole
Damn.
life playing Pokemon growing up. I'm sitting here thinking blueberries.
Yep.
Not even close.
Yeah, it's just at the very least in the anime is how they are represented. Okay, you have successfully captured one of the Pokemon on this route. To recap, you have already run into Hypno, which you also captured, as you wanted a Pokemon that had access to either, I believe, what was the ability actually that was on Hypno? I'm trying to remember at this point in time.
We weren't told.
No.
It was just like a psychic Pokemon that could help detect the psychic stuff. Maybe it's like Foresight.
To go back to my notes.
Who captured
My
Hypno?
notes?
Because I'm pretty sure I sent Hypno to one of the players.
Me. Oh my god, me.
I would like to acknowledge my
please
notes
hold.
say found Hypno immediately, followed by Jesus Christ. So I don't think I'm gonna be helpful in this scenario.
I think it was. I
As
think
you
it
guys
was
ran into
Jesus.
Hypno and Venomoth. I believe it was Forewarn is the ability, if I remember correctly.
I'm not your boss, but yeah, sure.
I think that's correct because that's what we wanted.
Yes, you were able to track down a psychic type that had access to either Forewarn or Trace, which you were going to use to try and track the teleporters somewhere in Vermilion City. However, there is another Pokemon on this route that you were hoping to run into, as we mentioned earlier. So as we sort of like heal up our Pokemon and get access to all of our items, are we headed back into town to drop off Rhydon, or are we continuing on the route to try and find the Pokemon that you were trying to run into earlier?
Could I do a little like checking of our surrounding area to see if there's any other sign of movement with like other Pokemon that could be in the area, or like odd things that are nearby, like if there's a different type of natural Pokemon that shouldn't be in this area, type of remnants that look unfamiliar.
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a tracking check, and while you do that, I'm gonna have Torie call it high or low.
Low.
I rolled a 16.
A 16? 16, as you are sort of like glancing about, you do note some odd things in this section of the woods. As you're sort of like glancing, you see like the obvious signs of the battle that just took place, the sort of like rocky spires out of the ground where that stone hedge almost took out all your Pokemon. You can see like the broken tree branches and everything from where Rhydon was launched into the sky and then later fell back down, the small crater where Rhydon was embedded in the ground. But you also note that the trees themselves show a different sign of damage. It looks like there is like there's like a compression sort of like slashed into multiple sections of the trees that's almost like crosshatched, like something had hit it once like this, hit it another time like this, and just sort of like repeated the pattern. If you can give me one intelligence check, I can give you more details about those hits.
Could it be a good?
I was gonna ask if I can help in some way, because we know that this Pokemon is a flying type that knows fighting moves. If I can look at that and use my fighting type specialty to see if that resonates with any sort of fighting, anything that I'm aware of. If I could just help Seth brainstorm.
Yeah, I'm taking that in. Seth, what were you about to say?
I was looking to see if I could tie in any specific skills. Like Poke handling, I think is more of like on hands with Pokemon, but it does use intelligence. There's Pokelore, but that's education. Tracking does use intelligence, but I don't know if that would fall in this category specifically.
I think at this point I will allow Torie, if you want, to roll me a type spec fighting check. And Seth, you know what? You've taken ranks in tracking, and I think that this is sort of like same thing. So why don't you also roll, and I'll add your totals together for a combined difficulty check.
I use intelligence for tracking? Or...
You are going to use intelligence for this, because this is about taking in the situation, sort of absorbing information.
I don't have an ability listed for my type spec. Is that intelligence?
Sorry, yes. This is also going to be an intelligence type spec check.
That is going to be a 12.
12. Okay. And then Torie, what was yours?
It's a 16 in it.
So that's a 38? No, 28. Yeah, a 28.
You're back.
Okay. With a 28, you're both sort of like, as you both kind of like walk over to the tree and you see Seth sort of standing there looking at it, and you sort of glance over and kind of walk over and look at it a little bit closer. This is not something...
Sure is a tree.
Matt
Nice.
just parried my
Well
fucking
put.
say.
I was method acting what you were saying.
Let's see. It is a tree. And as you sort of look at it, it was not hit by anything sharp, nor was it impacted by a punch. It almost reminds you of like when like a baseball bat hits a log, but it was delivered over and over and over again.
Ah, yes. I know exactly what that looks like. I often chop down trees with my softball bat. Do I think that's some sort of fighting something?
It seems like, yeah, probably some sort of fighting type was training here. You were kind of racking your brain. You're a Kanto native, correct?
Yep.
Okay. I think given that you and Seth are both people who deal with a lot of variations of Pokemon, I'll allow you to make the following check, but it is going to be pretty difficult.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all right.
Can each of you roll me a Pokelore education-based check?
Is there a baseball?
Would it be
Pokemon?
possible?
Die side.
I'm really reaching here, but would it
Okay.
be possible for,
Reach.
as they're speaking, for Coryne to be like listening to what they're saying and discussing and using a technology check to start inputting things into?
I will allow it. I will allow it, Coryne.
I'd like to think DJ and Seth are just like looking at this, investigating, and being like, "It's some type of blunt object." And then Corinne's just like, "Hey Siri, what's this Pokemon do?" Oh no, that's my actual phone. No, stop.
I like to think
Wrong
that while you two are doing it,
buzzword.
it's like you guys have like split the Sherlock costume. Like DJ's got
One
the
of us
hat, whereas
has
Seth
the-
has the pipe. Yeah. Okay, give me your individual checks, please.
9.
9. Okay.
12.
12, and then what was yours, Seth?
14.
14. Okay, so none of you passed the difficulty for this check. However, you do know that it is not a Kanto native Pokemon very specifically. It is also not native to the
Ooh.
neighboring region of Johto.
Oh.
Ooh.
That's weird. That's suspicious.
Suspicious.
Okay. We'll take some pictures of it as like logged evidence to then maybe kind of
Maybe.
compare it to other stuff as we walk around.
Yeah, Bowie
Some
takes some
logged
photos.
evidence.
Sounds good.
It's a tree.
Yeah.
Oh.
I like the delay on Kenna getting in.
A little domino effect for everybody.
Yep,
at home.
yep, yep.
My domino
That's perfect.
effect.
Perfect.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. And then, do you guys continue to look for more clues, or do you move on?
I think from what we've looked at, how recent does that damage look to the tree? Does it look like the
Probably
tree is,
within the
like,
last day or so. Like the green that like underneath the bark has started to like yellow and brown, so it's been exposed to air for some time.
Okay.
So probably not within the last couple hours. Probably within like a day ish.
Yeah, well, I'll try and take that information and look to see, like, if it went from here and was hitting this tree, is there any visible tree in any direction that has similar hits that if it was, like, done with this tree, moved to the next one that it saw that looked cool to hit?
Okay.
I'm going to use my cool...
Then, as you attempt to
It's
sort of like
sick.
navigate
Right.
using this this logic towards your next location on the route, go ahead and roll me your tracking check to move through the route with an advantage.
11, not high.
11 is pretty decent though. Okay,
Never mind, it's
Kenna,
great.
can you roll
Best
me a
roll there
d6,
ever could
please?
have been.
4.
4. Let me pull up the list. Okay. As you guys attempt to travel to the next location, Seth, you're sort of like looking at the trees, and occasionally you do see like another tree and another that have sort of been like damaged in this way, and eventually you do come across like what looks like some sort of place where a battle took place, very similar to where Rhydon was previously. There are craters in the ground. There are a couple of trees that have been felled. Quick inspection from all of the rolls that you've done previously sort of very much show that like there are sections where that blunt object, whatever it was, impacted several trees and cracked them down in half. It didn't cut them down. It blunt force trauma to trunk, which anyone who knows force knows that that's very hard to do. But as you continue to look around, you notice that like passing that battlefield, There are a couple more trees that look like the sort of like underbark layer is the pith is a little bit more white, and you've got like sort of like more of a green area underneath the bark. Probably within the last couple hours. Then it's like, oh, that's very fresh. Oh, that tree is like still like wet from having recently been broken open. You probably travel for another mile. It's starting to get to be like mid-afternoon. Can I get a spot hidden check from all three of you independently?
Me recognizing I need to start putting stuff into spot hidden.
Professor, I have a question.
What's up?
May I forego the spot hidden check in lieu of using my trainer ability hype up on Myrtle since she did such a good job the last battle?
100% you may. Okay, so you're getting her hyped and ready.
Myrtle's hyped up.
Good to know. Good to know. How do you hype up Myrtle during this time? Are you gonna do it quietly or no?
Yeah. So as we've been walking, I've kind of been walking like hand in hand with Myrtle, and every so often I'll like swing her like a toddler. But at some point she got a little bit tired, so I put her.
So casual kettlebell lifts.
After the third shoulder dislocation, I put her on my shoulders.
I did. I put her on my shoulders, and as we're walking, I'm like holding onto her legs, and I'm like, Myrtle's the best. Myrtle's the best. She's the bestest friend, and she does cool stuff.
You know Myrtle's 50 pounds, right?
I can do it.
Fuck
do
yeah,
you
that's
doubt
awesome.
Me?
No, I
I
don't.
was gonna say, you know, Coryne's a beast.
You succeeded an intimidation check on the fucking game master. Okay, the other two of you, what was those rolls?
It was a roll.
What do it be?
It's a number on the dice plus some other stuff.
Yeah, that totaled out to.
It's more than 5.
So it's 6.
But less than 7?
Yeah. All right, Torie, what about you?
12.
12. Okay, and then what Pokemon was everybody traveling out with? I know Myrtle's out. What other Pokemon are currently out?
Methinks I still have Bowie out.
Okay.
I'm gonna take out Cayenne.
Cayenne? Okay.
I think Poblano's a little eepy.
A little eepy.
A little eepy.
And then the other two Pokemon are still at the Pokemon Center, huh?
Yeah, Tabasco and Aleppo are still down for the count, man.
That's good to know. Oh yeah, because Cayenne didn't even get hurt during that gym battle.
Yeah, Cayenne bit an ankle, and that was it.
That was the end of it. Okay.
You little ankle biter.
Cayenne
you
was
got
a little
12.
bitch.
So if that goes for so now it's gonna be a 33% chance that this goes in your favor, depending on what I roll. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, dear Lord.
Okay. That did not go in your favor.
Okay. What does that mean?
What if it
means
did,
that the only person that would have avoided this was not the person it went for. So at this point, as you guys are sort of walking, and you've done your spot hidden checks, there is a moment, DJ, where you're sort of walking, and it's sort of like Line of Ducklings thing, where it's like, you know, Seth is kind of like in the front with the tracking, and then you're like right behind him because you've been assisting with all the tree stuff and everything. And then Coryne is sort of like falling behind a little bit because, you know, she's hyping up her Pokemon. They're having this conversation. They're enjoying themselves. And that is why when you hear the sound of a swish of wind, it is just a little bit like too quick to react to warn your friend. Had it been for your Pokemon, you would have been able to warn your Pokemon because you're right there, you're ready to go. However, Coryne, there is a moment where I need you to roll Myrtle's defense die with a disadvantage.
Oh no.
Ooh,
Well, hopefully you miss it, so your hype up's still
minute.
there. But if not, your hype up's there, so that's good at least.
Yeah, your hype up's gonna do work right now. I'm telling you that right now.
Thank God. Okay.
Oh, actually,
Wait,
I'm
do
raised
work.
by
What do
2
you
sizes.
mean? What do you mean? Okay.
Where's my D20?
Did you just say raise 2 sizes? I need everybody to calm down.
talk to that
You're the only one yelling.
Give him a heads
You're
up.
the only one yelling.
You're targeting my baby. And just as a, you're making me so nervous. As a reminder, disadvantage is a D4 minus whatever roll.
So it's the roll minus a D4.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see. Myrtle is very obviously a water type, so definitely would use that.
Obvious? Wow.
Yes, it's blue and a turtle.
Well, you know.
It's blue.
I wish
and
Belly
also
Bolt was more obvious.
Okay. Coryne, what did Myrtle's defense type? What was that?
74.
8.
8. So I rolled 22. And the amount that I need to crit is actually only 7 for this one.
Good call on the hype up.
So the hype up was a great call as you feel a whoosh of air, and then you feel the impact of a bright green object fucking just take Myrtle from your shoulders, and she goes flying into a tree. As standing with this like large like green object sort of extended out from its 2 feathered hands, you see that there is this brown creature, this bird. Torie just got it. There's this brown bird that is only about 2'7", but it's got this like green object sort of like held. It sort of like goes white to green over one shoulder. It's got this like yellow beak and these like very dark black eyebrows. As you see some variation of the Pokemon Farfetch'd in front of you. Coryne, just to keep track for this, because it is going to get reduced to 1 wound because of your thing. The move I used was Leaf Blade, which normally would deal a major, but then you're also weak to that, so that would also deal another wound, so it'd be 4. And then it was a crit, so it would be 7. However, because you hype upped, it's only going to be 1.
Okay.
Okay,
cool, great.
You all jump into action. You do recognize this is still imminent danger. I'm gonna ask that you all roll speed die for your Pokemon.
6.
Okay, and then what did Cayenne get?
8.
And then what did Myrtle get?
12.
12. Ooh, what is Myrtle's speed die size?
A D6.
You and I need to roll off.
I don't like that.
I don't like that. I might get another turn back to back.
You could just let me have it. 10.
10? Fuck you, roll again.
Are you joking? Okay.
4 + 6.
Damn.
Okay. I rolled my minimum.
I keep
what did you
rolling lower. 9.
9? Okay, I got a 7. Myrtle will go first.
Oh shit. Okay.
That was so close to not happening.
Question. With how much time we've been like going around and stuff, have we regained any wounds from?
You know what?
walking?
Yes, all of the Pokemon that are in your care, I'll say an hour has passed. They will have received a minor wound back, and you can fill up one of their power points. So one of their moves will go back to full.
If only
that is
Myrtle
how
had a
really
move that
works.
had just one.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Really, Kenna? Really? I'm gonna tell you guys right now, I am using a new friendship-esque mechanic in this battle that we have not yet unveiled, and I'm very excited for you all to see it.
You say
What
we
do
have
you
not unveiled.
mean?
You've made it up. You're the person doing it.
Yeah, no
Okay.
shit.
Okay. I was thinking about some stuff, and I designed
said,
a
"By the
thing
way, I
that I'm
changed
very
No.
excited to test out.
Let's use your verbiage. We were thinking of something. Tell us what we thought of.
Okay, I'll tell you what we thought of once something happens. Anyway, Myrtle is going to be up first. What is Myrtle doing at this point in time as this, like, again, odd-looking Farfetch'd with its, like, 4-foot-long leek that it's holding, is standing there in battle position, ready to go. Very obviously, by the way, the two of you who are doing it, this is the object that made the scratches in the trees. Very much so. It is a giant blunt object.
As Coryne is looking at this Farfetch'd, being like, "What the could I tell that was a grass move?
It glowed bright green, 100%. Yeah, that's
okay.
pretty
So I
obvious.
definitely know it's a grass move.
Yeah, that was a grass type move.
In that case, what's gonna happen is Myrtle is actually going to pop her head out of her shell, because I feel like whenever Myrtle gets smacked around by a move and Hype Up saves her, the default is just to go into the shell and ride out the storm.
100%.
So Myrtle's head pops out and kind of looks at this Farfetch'd like, what, Turtle? And Coryne is like, no, not today. Absolutely not. And Coryne is actually going to return Myrtle.
Oh,
And
shit.
swap Myrtle out for Smolder.
Okay, can you give me a Smolder speed roll, please, as I remove Myrtle from the turn order? And Smolder will enter turn order next round.
Okay, so that was a 5 plus Smolder's rank 4, 9.
Okay, Smolder will enter the turn order next round. Okay, with that, Farfetch'd is gonna kind of like glance around at where Myrtle was and go, far. And then turn to the other Pokemon. Like, it's like, oh, it was gonna take out Myrtle first, and it's scoffing now that Myrtle's gone. It's gonna turn.
And Coryne fucking absolutely
the two
not.
Pokemon who are currently out. Let's see, roll. Who's Farfetch'd going for? Okay, looks like it's gonna be Bowie. Okay, so at this point in time, you see that.
Oh no, it's Crocodile now.
Yeah, Crocodile. At this point in time, as the Farfetch'd turn is fire. It's gonna like take its giant leak and it's gonna once again start to glow green as you see it's readying up another leaf blade. It's gonna take one step forward and then immediately like jump itself towards Bowie. Go ahead and roll a physical defense die for Bowie as I roll my physical attack. 15 meets it, beats it. 9 plus 6, 15. So at this point in time, Bowie is gonna go ahead and take 4 wounds as this leaf blade comes, and you see at this moment that right before it hits Bowie, it sort of like materializes in front of Bowie, does a spin and raises the leak high into the air, and then fucking boom, slams it down into the ground onto him. That is going to be Farfetch'd's turn. Now it is gonna be Cayenne's turn.
Well, those are all my frickin' berries I just used.
So I think as they turn around and look, the Rockruff is going to start growling, you know, like he did to us at the caves, but he's also just going to kind of go into defense mode. And DJ's going to kind of prompt him forward a little bit, but he's going to dig his heels in and just start howling at this thing to try and scare it off. So he's going to use Howl. User howls to raise the spirits of its allies. User and all of its allies have their attack die sizes increased by 1. So your guys' attack goes up by 1.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yo.
Also,
We'll
to roll something back real quick, I forgot about something. As Smolder enters combat, I forgot Drought will activate.
Yeah.
Just a reminder for you. So fire type moves are now intensified. It just occurred to me as the sort of like sunlight in the mid-afternoon gets very hot. But yeah, as Cayenne sort of howls, there's this moment where it's already gotten a little bit warm just being sort of around Smolder, and the howl just like seems to like pump everybody up, and it's just it's a good and invigorating sort of sound that comes across and raises everybody's attack die sizes. That's good to know. I am a little bit scared about that. Okay, and now it's going to be Bowie's turn. Reminder that water type moves are currently do less damage because of the drought.
I am going to look at Bowie, who I just fed all those berries to, and he was feeling better and then got hit by that, is going to be frustrated at that fact. And you're going to see him kind of start to grumble to himself, and you'll see steam start coming from his mouth, and it'll start to, I'm trying to think of the best word for it.
Like condense?
Yeah, condense. That's the word for it.
There you go,
as the steam will go to ahead and condense near his mouth, you're going to see it start to hear like crunchy sounds as it starts to turn into fractals and turns into his ice fang as he's going to slap his tail on the ground and use that as momentum to run off towards the Farfetch'd and hit him with an ice fang.
Fuck
hell yeah.
Yes, you do. Absolutely. I'll roll a physical defense die.
She said the physical attack die
goes up by a size.
Up by a size. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How big is it right now? Is it D12?
No. D10.
Oh, okay.
But I rolled
D10 still, that's
poorly,
pretty good.
so it doesn't make a difference.
Well,
I
next
also
turn it'll
rolled
be a
poorly.
D12.
What'd you get?
I rolled a 7. What did you roll?
I also rolled a 7.
Meets it, beats it. Because
Meets
I
it,
got a 1
beats it.
plus 6. So meets
Let's
it,
go.
beats it. Go for it, boo boo.
And yeah, he's going to as the So as Bowie runs towards the Farfetch'd, I think the Farfetch'd tries to do another swing of the leaf blade, was it?
Yeah, leaf
At
blade.
him.
He's still got that green blade
It's a
glowing.
yeah,
and
it's a
swinging
wide
around.
swing, and Bowie kind of slides down on his belly towards the ground, and ducks under it, and then comes up and goes just straight for the neck with a nice thing.
Fuck yeah!
And
What's
now-
the wounds on that? And then we'll roll for the status effects. Okay,
2 wounds of ice damage.
dose wounds of ice damage. All right, I take
Yeah.
2 wounds. And then we'll roll for
Seth is
status
also
effects.
taking this information of this is a weird Farfetch'd, and is like, it's flying, right? Let's use
It's
an ice
flying.
move.
Okay. Let's see here. I have rolled my HP die for the
I
for
gotta do
the
stuff.
yeah. You gotta roll your special attack die for the what's it called?
10.
10. Okay, we get the
Yeah.
flinch. Let's see if we get the freeze.
That is 11.
Okay, I've just barely beaten your 11. So you got the flinch, but you did not get the freeze.
So I'm looking at the rules document, and I do see that under harsh sunlight, Pokemon cannot be frozen.
Oh, we don't even need to roll for the frozen.
Perfect.
You're so
I'm
valid.
sorry.
You're so
I
valid.
want to be. I'm sorry.
No, that's fair. That's fair. You're right. Harsh sunlight negates frozen. You're right. But he still got the flinch off anyway. So Farfetch'd is going to. Oh, problem is he doesn't go before
actually-
Farfetch'd in turn order is the problem. So you did get the flinch off, but unfortunately that status doesn't matter when you're after. I'm sorry, Miat. Remember, because it's until end of turn. It's a status condition that goes until the end of the turn. So you got the 2 wounds off. Let's see here. With that, we go back up to the top. Because Myrtle is no longer in battle, it is now Farfetch'd's turn. Farfetch'd is going to turn, and there are now 3 motherfuckers attacking. You know what? Farfetch'd is pretty smart as a Pokemon. It hears the howl, and it needs to take care of that first. So it's gonna go for a, yeah. Okay, can you please give me Cayenne's physical defense die, please?
8.
That's gonna be a 16. Luckily, this one does not have an increased crit ratio, so I don't crit. But at this point in time, as sort of like Bowie has come up and like snapped under the jaws of Farfetch'd, Farfetch'd is gonna like use its leak to like push in the ground and just throw itself backwards, kind of like flipping backwards, and its eyes are gonna turn over to Cayenne, where Cayenne's howling and buffing the whole team. That sort of like green leaf blade is gonna change to a bright red, as it's gonna bring the thick end of the leak around, the white end, and it's just gonna try and fucking slam Cayenne with as much power as possible with a brick break. That is going to be 3 wounds normally, plus the stab wound from fighting, plus Cayenne's weak, so that's gonna be 5 to Cayenne.
Okay.
At this point, as it just comes up, you see that Cayenne takes a heavy hit. Is Cayenne was it full or no?
Yeah.
Okay, Cayenne wasn't full, so Cayenne goes down to 4 wounds remaining, and that is gonna be Smolder's turn.
Smolder is going to see the Farfetch'd is just wrecking people. And at first it's gonna like kind of start like prancing up really, really adorably, trying to seem like really non-threatening. And then as soon as it gets to within maybe like 10 feet of the Farfetch'd, it's just going to dig its paws in and just like race off, and it's gonna start twirling around the Farfetch'd and doing fire spin.
100%. Go ahead and roll its special attack. I'll roll special defense.
Oh,
Where's
damn.
my D8?
Ooh, samesies. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
7, 8, 9, 10. Meets it, motherfucking beats it. Okay, so at this point, Fire Spin is going to take effect. What does that look like?
Okay, so as Smolder is racing around, I feel like the flames on its little tiny mane and tail start building higher and higher and higher until it's completely engulfing this Farfetch'd. So it's gonna do, Fire Spin is 1 wound, but it's stabbed, so that's 2, and then Drought is active, so that's 2 more. So 4 wounds of fire damage.
Yep, that sounds about right. That do be sounding right.
And then it says,
so plus 3. So I'm at 2 major now. Okay, good to know.
and then it says the foes hit by this move are trapped in an intense spiral that rages for 1d4 plus 1 turn. So that's gonna be
So part of this specific move is the bound condition, meaning that this Pokemon cannot be switched out and cannot flee as long as it is bound. So it's gonna be taking a round at the a wound at the end of each round, and it's gonna be there for 3 turns. You said?
yes.
Basically, for 3 turns, if this Farfetch'd wants to, it cannot escape. Just letting you guys know. because it has been trapped. All right, so with that, Smolder has officially trapped this Pokemon around you guys, as it's got just a like fucking fiery tornado sort of following it at this point in time. With that, it's gonna go to Cayenne's turn.
All right, Cayenne is gonna kind of tumble back from the brick break, and kind of like skid to a stop, and kind of dig his heels in, get pissed, and go and just charge at it. And he's gonna he's gonna try and bite it.
All right, let's go for physical defense. You go physical attack.
I exploded.
Nice.
That was worse, but that's okay.
Okay. 15. That is gonna go ahead and beat my 8. Go ahead and tell me what the damage on that is.
It's gonna be 3 wounds of dark type damage.
Okay. It was at 2 major wounds, and as you see it going up to 3, there is this moment where it has just been wrapped in fire and hit. At this point in time, you can see that there is like this like angry glare behind its eyes as this Pokemon is going to use a rage point to stay up.
A rage point. Is that like
you
anti-friendship?
This is the opposite of friendship. Matt, we theorized about this for a while, so I went and decided to write out an entire mechanic for it.
We did think of this.
We did think of this. But it is going to go ahead and expend a rage point. All right.
Okay.
So at this point in time, you see it go like, "Far!" As the bite fully comes in. What does the bite look like, by the way, as it hits?
I think Cayenne's gonna just bare he little teeth. He little munchkin puppy teeth. But you are gonna see his canines are real sharp.
Okay.
And they're just gonna dig into like the wing of this Farfetch'd.
And it like as like it digs into the wing, like that's when Farfetch'd is like and like rips the wing out of its mouth, and you can see like the leak getting ready, but it's not Farfetch'd's turn yet. It is now Bowie's turn. What's Bowie doing?
Bowie is gonna see that this Farfetch'd is kind of on its last little leak, and is going to I think Bowie is going to try and one, put out the fire with it being now drought and dry, and 2, take out the angry Pokemon with a hydro pump.
Okay.
And just kind of like cover the area with water as best as he can. So he'll charge up his little pot belly of water, and as he shoots it out, he's gonna like push his hands down over it to kind of make it spread out.
Oh, fuck yeah.
As it goes through.
Like a flat spout, 100%.
Cool. Exactly. Yeah, he flicked the little garden hose over to flat.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's going to be a 11, not high.
11. I rolled a 10. 4 plus 6. All right. So that's going to go ahead and hit. What's the damage on that?
It's normally 4 wounds, but because of the harsh sunlight, it would be doing 2 wounds. But with stab, makes it 3. But with torrent, makes it 4. And then mystic water.
The torrent.
Woo! Shout out to the torrent. Okay, 5.
Nice.
I will expend 5 rage to keep this Farfetch'd up at this point in time. As you see that at this point, like this Pokemon, you sort of already got this idea because it attacked you guys on sight as soon as it saw you. But you can see that it is fueled by some sort of like just pure anger. And there's that moment where Bowie comes in and he sort of like takes his hand and spreads it. And what's it look like as it hits, by the way?
I think it as it spreads out, basically it kind of mists everybody that's involved there. So like Smolder and Cayenne will get like hit by water, but it's mainly they just get like spritzed, kind of.
Yeah.
Like walking kind of near a sprinkler.
Kind of, yeah. It's like you kind of get like I didn't want to be this close to a sprinkler. And it will hit the fire spin. You see it kind of go out for a second, but because Smolder's so cool and powerful, it kind of just steams on the fire and keeps burning around it, but mainly pushes through just to like kind of wet the Farfetch'd so that it's not burning as much as it would be, but it's still like getting hurt.
Absolutely. But as like that like sort of like fountain pours out towards the Farfetch'd, you see it and as it looks at you guys, it's like this like very like stuck up sort of enraged Pokemon is going to turn and look at all of you. As we hit the end of the round, by the way, it is going to have to expend another rage to stay up because of the fire spin.
How mad is this little bird?
That's 7.
This little bird.
Just so you know, that's 7 rage.
That is 7 rage that it has expended. At this point in time, Farfetch is gonna like, you can see that its rage energy seems to have like died down quite a bit, and it's sort of like getting sluggish and exhausted, but it does like a quick head count of looking at the 3 of your Pokemon. And based off the descriptions you've given me thus far, no one has significantly moved away from it at any point in time. So at this point, you see that like giant leak that it's got, instead of glowing like green or red from grass or fighting type, you can see it just go pure black from dark type energy, as this Pokemon is going to rear it back and go for a full like rotation hit of a Brutal Swing, which is a radius move. So all 3 of you need to roll me physical defense, please.
Oh my god.
DJ, what did Cayenne get?
14.
Okay, what did Bowie get?
5.
Okay, and then what did Smolder get?
11.
Okay, so
11.
it will hit all 3 of you, and it will crit against Bowie and Smolder at this point in time, because I rolled an 18 plus 6. It's 24
Put
actually.
that
crits on all 3 of
D20
you.
down.
That crits on all 3 of you actually, because you rolled 14, didn't you?
What are you trying to prove here?
No, I rolled.
Proving that Swords Dance is one of the best fucking
27.
moves ever.
Did it use
Oh
Swords
my
Dance?
god.
Yeah,
When did it
that's
use Swords Dance?
It used Swords Dance right before it swung. That was one of the reasons I was having people roll their rolls to see if they would notice
It
the
was
Swords
doing
Dance.
prep turns before it even saw us. That's dope.
Yeah, its goal isn't to do a fair fight. Its goal is to kick the shit out of you.
What the
It's called
fuck?
far-fetched, not fair-fetched, Matt.
Okay.
All right, kill my Pokemon. Go ahead.
Okay, well, it's actually, Brutal Swing is only 2 wounds plus the 3 from the crit, so you're each gonna take 5.
Just 5.
Cayenne's down.
Oh, okay,
dropped
okay. What are you doing? Is Myrtle Smolder still looking good?
Oh yeah, Smurtle.
Smurtle? That's their best
Smolder.
friend name. Yeah.
that's their bestie's ship name. Smolder can take 1 more of those.
Okay. Well, at this point in time, as that Brutal Swing kind of comes through, at that moment, you feel, you said, DJ, that you're letting Cayenne go down?
Yeah.
You feel immediately the sort of Pokeball in your hip return Cayenne. At this point in time, Bowie like grits through, and that like steam still begins to pour out of his mouth. And with Smolder, he takes the hit, but he's not looking good because of it. With that though, it is Smolder's turn.
Smolder, like if Pokemon were speaking to each other, right? Smolder would be like, "Yo, what's your problem?" And seeing
Just came to say hello.
Right, seeing like a fellow Pokemon go down, and Cayenne just get kind of wrecked by that.
Bodied.
Smolder is going to kind of walk around the fire spin that's still up and going, and is going to look for a break in the flames and then just fire off an ember, trying to just nail this Farfetch so that it'll go down and stop hurting its friends.
Okay. You go for the Ember. I will roll special defense die, and we'll see what happens.
Why?
Let's see here. Go for it.
You made it seem like that was a mistake.
No,
Yeah.
Aaron's more thinking about something regarding this Farfetch. Anyway, keep going.
Okay. Actually, I'm so sorry. Can we rewind? What are the rules around rage? Can you catch a Pokemon that has rage points?
You can. I'm so glad that you asked. You can, however, Pokemon with active rage points do detract from the overall roll. They add to the difficulty. However, so do you guys want to hear some of the rules regarding rage?
I would
Yes,
love
the
to
ones
hear
that
it.
we all worked on.
Yeah. Okay. So some of the things that we've discussed with rage in the past, but I get to bring to light now. Rage
In the far
points.
past, decades ago.
Rage points are points that wild Pokemon can accrue when they have undergone certain traumatic events. Rage points are a temporary condition that do not hold over past a rest. So this Pokemon has just been going with this rage. Rage points work identically to friendship points. That's just a note that I have as myself. However, rage points also detract from the catch rate of a Pokemon. That's it. That's all the rules for rage points. That's all I have so far. I've got a couple of other ideas that Matt and I wrote, but that's what I have.
Past Matt,
So,
who is not.
I could
here at
try
the
to-
moment.
Past Matt. You're speaking to future Matt now.
Yeah.
Present Matt.
Yep.
So I could attempt to catch it.
You can attempt to catch it right now while it has rage.
I mean, with your trainer ability, you'll just beam the crap out of it.
You'll just fucking beat it to
fight
death
against
with a Pokeball.
Where is that
on the
That would be the
sheet?
turn, though, right?
That would be your whole turn, yeah.
Or is it not on the sheet?
It's not on the sheet yet because I don't want to spoil it before the session. I don't want you to do your thing where you're reading through the rules and come across it
I
early.
like to learn as I play. What's wrong with that?
I want to surprise you. I never get to surprise you.
Yeah,
This
I
was
don't like
surprising.
surprises. The surprise is, hey, there's information that I have that you will never see.
Okay, so for Pokeball catching, right? What's working against me is its rank, its rage, and the fact that it's not fainted.
Yep. It is easier to catch because it's injured, but it's fainting it would make it ultimately easy.
And that would get rid of the rage, but it's used. Let's just say it works identical to friendship. So max rage is 12.
Yep.
Can I use a poke handling check to see how traumatized this Pokemon is?
Actually, I'm not even going to make you make a check. That's one of the things I was kind of mentioning earlier when I said it's like rage aura is very decreased. I'll let you know just glancing at it. It's got 1 rage left.
Oh, you could beam it.
I stuck it at 8.
I'm sitting here thinking this is the most outrageous
Torie,
Pokemon. It's got
demonstrate
max
how
rage.
Coryne should softball pitch this Pokeball at this minute.
Now that Electivire that we talked about before,
Carefully
that
and
would have
with
been
accuracy.
maxed out rage. That
Oh
one
my
Electivire that was in the
God,
blue
the
rocket space,
Electivire?
that would have been 12 rage, yeah.
That was wild. Okay, yeah. Instead of that, then I think Coryne is gonna go ahead and shout. I'm so sorry. Now that we've had this whole conversation, Coryne is gonna shout out to Smolder, and she's gonna say, "Smolder, go ahead and back off."
Okay.
And I'm gonna have Smolder come back to Coryne.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and attempt to catch this Farfetch'd.
Okay, roll me your 2d20s. Every time you do it, I just like, this is gonna be a gross number.
Okay. So that's a 17 and an 8
Jeebus.
is 25,
5.
and then
25.
plus my badges is 28.
Okay, well, you only needed, let's see here, 15 plus 1 would be 16, plus 6 would be 22, minus 7 because of the 7, no, minus 8 because the 8
15.
wounds it has, would go back
14.
down to 15. So you only needed to be
You
at
have
15.
14.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. At
Good,
this point,
good.
as you fucking beam the Pokeball at this Pokemon, which has not actually been defeated yet at this point in time, as the Pokeball hits it, you see it absorb the Pokemon, and then it has been captured.
Oh my god.
Um,
Coryne just turns and is
Bowie,
like,
just
How-
put the
how
rest
we
of the
doing?
fire out.
Yeah,
That's spinning.
Yeah.
Bowie immediately, like, Bowie's Hydro Pump never actually stopped. It's just still kind
Yeah,
of.
it's just been that constant water that's like, yeah, when they're putting out fires, that just keeps going.
Yeah. Yeah, at this point, your Pokemon are no longer in battle at this point in time. The bound condition has ended on Farfetch'd. DJ, you texted me about something. Did you want to do anything right now?
Yeah, it's not super helpful now, but I forgot about my fun fact, which would have been super helpful at the beginning of this battle to figure out what this thing is freaking weak to. But knowing now that it's not a normal Farfetch'd and recognizing that it just mollywopped our team, and by our team, I mean Cayenne. What?
It's our team.
Can you tell me still some information about it from the fun
Sure.
fact?
Which one from your fun fact do you want to know?
Fun fact, y'all, there's more than one type of Farfetch'd.
Could I get 2 by any chance?
Roll me
Can
an
I-
education. If you roll me an education roll, if you get higher than 10, I'll give it to you.
you got this. Come on.
I hit 10 exactly.
All right,
Let's go.
take 2. Go for it. Which 2 do you want?
Okay.
I'll give
I
it
would
to you.
like to know its ability,
Okay.
and I would like to know its weaknesses, immunities, and resistances, because I think that would give me an idea of the type.
Okay. I'll go ahead and give you the weaknesses first. This is through and through, by the way. You have type specialization in this. This is just a pure fighting type Pokemon.
Okay.
It is currently weak to flying, psychic, and fairy types. And it, what's it called?
Flying Psychic Fairy.
Yes, and it resists bug, rock, and dark type moves. And then the ability that this Pokemon has, which Coryne would also be able to learn by tapping the Pokeball to the Pokedex, is Scrappy. This Pokemon can hit ghost-type Pokemon with normal and fighting-type physical and special moves.
Dang.
It's a scrappy motherfucker.
No shit.
Yeah, that's cool. You said it resists bug and fairy and
so
bug
it
and what?
resists bug, rock, and dark.
Bug rock and great.
Kenna, because you're the one who captured it, I will send its sheet to you. I'm gonna note that it does have 0 friendship at the moment, because you did not succeed in removing all of its rage points before capturing it.
Fabulous.
Question for y'all, sorta in character. Well, question first for the professor.
In character.
Okay.
Answer.
Would I recognize that rage points have to do with like a Pokemon being traumatized at some point in its life?
It has to do. So it has to do with what rage in real life has to do with, because points don't like exist in the actual world. It is this thing of like this Pokemon has like an amount of rage to it, and you can use the logic to draw that like anything that would enrage a Pokemon normally would give it rage points. Okay,
especially like with my background and with what my dads do, I would like to think that that's pretty obvious to me.
Yes, 100%. That line of logic you can absolutely draw on your own.
Okay. So then, Coryne, is this far-fetched a Pokemon that you want to keep?
I kind of look down to Smolder just as like a quick check-in, and I feel like Smolder is like, and I look at DJ and I say, no, I don't think this would be a good addition to my team. Would you like it?
So it's not so much that I'd like it. I don't know if I've told y'all this. My dad's up in Celadon run a Pokemon rehab center, specifically for Pokemon with like traumatic backgrounds, essentially. If they've undergone some sort of stress, we've seen a lot of Pokemon coming from the Rockets. We see a lot of wild displaced Pokemon. So it's not so much that I'd want to keep it, it's more that I'd want to send it home to my dad's, that they can help it recover a bit better.
Sure. Professor, was Corinne's mind is going back to the Dragonair. Was the Dragonair up at Celadon at some point, and did we get it transferred to...
It did, and we've been rolling every day is to see when the day will come. It's any day now that it will be arriving.
Right. But the Dragonair was up at Celadon.
So that it did initially, you don't know if it's the one in Celadon, it did initially go to a facility that was not Cerulean, but it then eventually made its way to the Cornucopia daycare. So it's very possible this might have been the same one at Celadon, but you would not have any knowledge of that.
Okay, interesting. Coryne kind of looks at DJ again. I mean, I don't mind. What we were gonna do with this far-fetched, we were just kind of tasked to catch it, right? So it stopped causing trouble for people, which, wow, was that troublesome. So we don't have to turn it into the professor. We could give it to your dads, I think. Seth, what do you think?
Yeah, I think if we at least kind of like regroup back with the professor, we'll be in like a safe, not outdoors environment that more Pokemon could attack us while we're having this long conversation. And then handling the details of like who has what Pokemon definitely could be done within a walled interior.
Yeah. we can be having this conversation on the move. We don't got to be standing right here.
That's a great point, Seth.
Oh.
That's a great point, Seth.
No, Aaron.
I am gonna return Bowie though, and just say sorry, but I don't want to. I know you're tired of berries. Just bring him back in here. So I don't want to just stuff him with berries.
Yeah.
And then I'll bring out Axel. Oh, no, Axel's still no. Yes, no, he is out. He is out. I'm trying to remember who all's
out.
You know what? Anchor. We'll bring out Anchor.
Okay. Also, the look that Bowie gives you as he is first like a nod of yes, I don't want to eat berries anymore. It's also the look of he's expecting a fair amount of fish jerky when he's released later today. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, it'll be Richter because I can't remember. I think I returned Anchor in that battle, and Axel definitely got knocked out. So
Richter got messed up by Hypno, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
I healed him.
Yeah. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll bring him back out.
Okay. With that, do you guys want to start the process of trying to head back and hoping you don't run into anything else?
Less trying, more succeeding, but yeah.
Because Aaron meme rolled earlier. That was a meme roll. Luckily, you guys have removed most of the encounters on the route. There's only one encounter remaining, so you guys could potentially make it back by entirely avoiding it, depending on how well the tracking check goes.
Let's knock it out. Let's see what we can do here.
Okay.
I'll lead us back to town.
Okay.
I'll lead us back to town, Professor.
Okay, so Seth, you're gonna roll with 8 disadvantages. Got you.
Leads us to death.
Go ahead and roll me a tracking check, Lisa.
Yeah, guys,
with
the
an
map
advantage
says this
because
cliff is
you've
jumpable.
already
We could do
moved
it.
through it.
What did you ask?
Coryne
I'm sorry.
jumps.
I said go ahead and roll a tracking with an advantage because you've already been through here.
Hey, yeah. I don't know why I rolled a d20. That's not in my repertoire. 25.
25. Okay. With a 25, you were able to deftly make it back before sunset, because depending on how well this was, is around where in sunset you'd be making it back at. Do remember that later tonight, you guys do have the obligation to the volunteers over at the what's it called? Over at the Viridian. No, fuck, Matt. God damn it. At the Vermilion Gym. You motherfucker.
Eons ago,
Vermilion Gym.
reaping the benefits now.
I need a t-shirt that just says Viridian does not
Viridian,
equal
cool.
Vermilion. As you do have the obligation to the trainers at the Vermilion Gym. But you guys managed to make it back before sunset, so you can easily head by the professor's lab if you would like to sort of discuss the Pokemon that you've seen, turn them in if you'd like to.
I reckon that's a good idea. I will text our friend Viridian, just kidding, Vermilion, and have them meet us at the thing if they want to.
Okay.
So we're stopping by the lab.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll for that. Depending on, I'm gonna make a couple of rolls to determine the kind of day that Vermilion has had, because some stuff did. Actually, wait. Technically speaking, Vermilion was with you guys this whole time. I just never entered them into battle. Now that I think about it, because I don't know that it got set on camera, but Vermilion did go back post being recognized. As you text Vermilion, I've just rolled for how their day went. There's some very low rolls. You know what? Actually, one more die. Okay, they're gonna text you back that they'd love to, but they are busy.
Weird. Bowie, hit him back with a okay.
One of the Pokeballs on your waist shakes a little bit because he's still resting from the battle you guys did.
Yeah, no, I do think I'm gonna stop by the store on the way there and just you know how it's we're walking past the store and I'm really quick, and I'm just gonna run and grab 2 max potions.
That's valid.
And then just bring Bowie out, and as he wakes up, it's like the hold spray release. All right, and we're good. And I just
it's
take
like
the
a
cap
vaguely
off,
fruity,
drop the rest
almost
of it.
grape-like smell in the air.
Yeah.
Okay, headed back to Professor Cerise's lab. You guys are easily able to get there. And at this point in time, you are able to ring into the professor. The gate will open for you guys. And just like last time, you are led by a small Magnemite in a cleaning bonnet that leads you guys through the lab. And eventually you're brought to the professor himself. And he goes, "Oh, it's nice to see that you're all back."
Yeah, it was actually really easy.
Oh, you've succeeded in tracking down our mystery Pokemon then.
Got all of them, yeah. It was very seamless. We barely took scratch. Boo, can you
All
throw
of
this bottle
them.
away from me? Just it's a Max Potion bottle. Go recycle this for me if you can.
None of the people in that room even notice what you've just had Bowie throw away. They all rolled dog shit. But they can organize. You've got all of the Pokemon. Well, what was our mystery Pokemon then?
I turn to the others.
DJ.
I turn to DJ.
It was well, thanks y'all for this opportunity to
turns to
speak
Bowie.
to the professor.
You're so welcome.
No, I think it was some semblance of a far-fetched, but it definitely ain't from here, I reckon. It was
Big leak. Big
a
leak.
real big leak.
Well, that
lot
would was it
darker
a dark brown
colors.
color? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, it was
That
it
would
was
be-
fixing to put our Pokemon in the ground, I'd say.
That would be a Farfetch'd from the Galar region. I assume it's probably another abandoned Pokemon like we spoke about before. I hope it didn't give you too much trouble.
Abandoned
It
this
did,
far away?
but that's all right. It's fully a fighting type. It was very
Mhm.
spooky.
That is
Well,
what we
not
call
spooky like ghost type, but spooky like scary fighter, you know?
that is what we call a regional form. I believe if you observed the tournament a few weeks ago, you would have seen some examples of this. But Pokemon that have had divergent evolution across different locations often end up adapting more to specific areas of the world.
Well-
I guess they fight more in Galar than they do fly.
Maybe.
And
There is
be normal?
a high sort of culture of swords and shields in the Galar region going back centuries. A Pokemon might seek to emulate individuals and with that cause an entire new line to appear.
That's crazy. Bowie, can you do that?
He goes, Krakena! He's like, I don't have the power.
Oh, okay. We'll work on it.
Out of curiosity, Professor, is there anything specific that you were looking to do with this Gala Farfetch'd?
As I had mentioned before, I was hoping to send it off to some sort of rehabilitation center so that it might stop attacking wild Pokemon.
Oh, perfect, because do I have the rehab center for you? Funny that you
I lean
bring
over-
that up.
I lean over to DJ and be like, "Do you guys have like a slogan or anything like that for your branding?"
No,
I don't need
but
two
I
of these
heard
motherfuckers.
you saying.
I don't need two of
I
these
heard
people.
you saying from our care to your care. I think you and I should talk. We should workshop something because they
I'm
could
saying,
use
like,
a little
what's
slogan.
your? Yeah, I would say we can figure this out very
We'll
quickly.
we'll sit down. We'll
I
do
don't
it
need
over
two of
dinner
these.
one night.
I don't need two
All
of
right.
these motherfuckers
So-
in my life.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
This is more of if Torie gave me
You
any
invited me,
semblance of a
Aaron.
piece of detail, I would have been able to be like, yes, say this. I was just
Oh,
waiting for
it's-
input.
It's an emotional rehab center for struggling Pokemon.
What's it called?
It's called the Werther Emotional Rehab Center. We call it WERC. WERC. It's up in
It's the Werther.
Werther. Yeah, that's my last name.
Hmm.
You knew
It's
that
Werther the
because
Wade.
when I introduced myself, I said, "Hi, Delilah
Oh
J.
wait, no,
Werther."
better yet.
But y'all can call me DJ.
Werther the Storm.
Werther.
Like weathering the storm?
No,
Yeah.
Werther.
Like
Oh, we're
emotional
Werther in the storm.
storm.
Oh, I like that. All right. Well, Professor, if I could interest you in Werther in the storm
This
that
all
this
happened in
Farfetch
5
might be
seconds.
causing, I would like to recommend you send it to my family's care up in Celadon.
Well, ultimately, your group is the one that captured it. If you have a preference for where it should be sent, you can send it there.
All right, then I say we just do it.
Okay.
Cool.
As for you've mentioned capturing other Pokemon, did you also manage to capture some of
ease,
our
yeah.
displaced Pokemon?
Mm-hmm. Simply.
Mhm. Well, if you'd like to hold on to
Simple
them,
and
you
clean.
absolutely may. Though, if you are willing to allow them to return to their natural habitats here after they've been held away from the work sites for a few months, I'd be happy to give you some sort of reward.
I'm pausing at this point because we'll pick up from there. With what you just worded, is the reward after the worksite thing is done or right
no,
now?
he's going to give it to you now. Basically, the decision you can either hold on to the Pokemon
Got
or you can turn them into him for a reward.
Okay.
Because he would prefer it if they stayed in their natural environment and were able to stick around. But yeah,
But only
there's also the
2 of
ride-on
them.
to talk about, which is not Yeah, because the Hypno is
Hypno
a
we know
natural
is temporary because we don't.
Yeah, Rhydon
necessarily
is one of
want
those
to-
displaced Pokemon that are not from the area.
Yeah. Good point, Professor. Team. Huddle. So, okay. We know that we're going to send the Farfetch'd over to your dad's. And with the Hypno, we need that later for the trainers at the gym. With the... Is it the Rhyhorn or Rhydon?
Rhydon. Rhyhorn is the 4-legged one. Rhydon is the 2-legged one.
I always keep forgetting.
Because you can't ride on the Rhydon.
If you try hard enough, I think it's got pretty broad shoulders.
I was gonna say, not with that attitude.
But I think at least that Pokemon. Do any of you want that in your party?
I'm fine turning over the Rhydon.
What rank is it? Like
Yeah,
rank
I don't-
7?
6.
X.
So I mean,
I forgot to send you guys the I forgot to send you
Korean.
guys the sheet when it
He's a
when,
big
when
strong
you
one.
guys captured it. Here, Corinne, I'm gonna send you the sheet and then you can make your decision.
take
You
it.
big
Take it.
spoopy
let me
man.
see. Let me
I
see.
realized
Take
I
it
forgot to
me.
send you guys the sheet.
I'm thinking any Pokemon that you are like vibe checking to see if it'll be on your team. Smolder's just gonna keep doing that. Like, no, I don't want to. Please, no one.
It's gonna be like, as dope as this Pokemon is, I look to Smolder. No, I'm kidding.
Vibe check on the Council of
The council
Smurtle.
says no.
The
The Council of
says
Smurtle
no.
disapproves.
Smurtle.
Smurtle.
I'm gonna go ahead and let the Rhydon go, and I would feel comfortable. I'll address the professor. Professor Cerise, this Pokemon, this Rhydon that we caught, also abandoned. Did you want this to go to a rehab center too?
For the Pokemon that are not as aggressive as that Farfetch'd has been, instead what they'll be doing is they'll be held on a nearby Pokemon ranch until such time as the Diglett Cave is returned to its functional state and all of the construction crews have been removed, then they will be allowed to go back to their homes. Of course, this Rhydon did not originate in the Diglett Cave, but it seems to have taken up a home there.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
I think we can leave this one with you.
All right, then. Well, if that's the case, he's going to reach over. Kenna, can you roll me 2 separate D6s, please? Keep the totals separate, and if you get the same, a reroll.
I can. A two and a 6.
A 2 and a 6. He's going to reach into sort of a side drawer and pull out what looks like 2 small, like it looks like almost like supplement bottles. And he's going to place them in front of where you've put the Pokeball. And he goes, and here's the reward that I promised for turning in such a Pokemon. And he sort of picks up the Rhydon's Pokeball and puts it over into a healing cradle, similar to what you would see in like a Pokemon Center. Looking down, you can mark off a Carbos and a Zinc for your inventory. So the Carbos will permanently increase a Pokemon speed die by 1 size, and a Zinc will permanently increase a Pokemon special defense die by 1 size.
Ooh,
Oh,
work.
God.
Okay.
And remember,
crazy.
there is a limit to the number of overall vitamins a Pokemon can have. These both fill into the vitamin slot, but they're also very expensive. I'll tell you right now, they retail for about 9,800 Poke.
That's a lot of money.
Uh,
Well, that's cool. I was trying to think of if because I think that Pokemon was natural to that environment. The Venomoth.
Venomoth is natural to the area.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, so
That
nothing
Venomoth
nothing
was
to bring up on that one.
scary.
spoopy.
Bro, I got a quiver dance off, bro. I was about to fuck you up.
That
did
thing
I.
was scary, bro.
Oh, I can't believe I got you all with that sleep pattern. Oh.
Yeah, you thought. You tried.
All right.
Unsuccessful.
Did you guys have any more business with the professor?
No. I
Okay.
think that was everything.
Then, for posterity's sake, if you want to head by the Pokemon Center, you'll be able to heal up your Pokemon because of how quickly you made it back to town, due to some very good tracking rolls. You will have enough time to heal all of your Pokemon at the Pokemon Center that are not fainted before returning to the Vermilion Gym to be able to meet up with the trainers there and begin your first patrol.
Are other Pokemon that were fainted earlier,
yeah.
are they good now or no?
Except for the ones that were fainted today, yes. So any Pokemon that were fainted today are still, unfortunately, out for the count until tomorrow morning.
Are we still on the same day as my gym battle?
We are. That was this morning. You had a lot of battling
I
today.
literally only have Poblano.
Okay, yeah. You can swing by and grab a revive, and that would heal their time immensely.
How much is a revive?
A revive is a recovery item that is worth
2,000.
2,000.
Oh.
So if you want to swing by, if you want to swing
Could
by,
I get 2?
Yeah, and you can recover 2 of your Pokemon if you want to. 100%.
Okay. Could I get 3?
You could get 3. Yeah, revives are an item that are not available in short supply. If you'd like to pick up some revives, absolutely
I'll pick
go
up
for it.
3 and I will bring my babies back.
Okay, so all 3 of your Pokemon will be fully healed from fainting to be available for this.
Yes.
Okay.
Nice.
And anyone else who would like to mark off any amount of money to also grab some revives as well.
I'll do my shopping off.
All right. With that, then
I
we
don't
will
have any
heal up
money.
everybody's Pokemon, and we will
Robert
be
was
on
a
our
Lord
way to
Slap
next
Out.
episode, be able to do our first patrol. Thank you guys so much for joining us on today's episode of Unbeatable.
Yay! Goodbye!
Thanks for watching this episode of Unbeatable. To support us, head on over to our Patreon and get access to our Discord, where we interact with our community and we gather questions for our monthly Q&As. Thanks for spending time with us, and remember, stay unbeatable.
Reminder that today's episode of Unbeatable is brought to you by you over on our Patreon. Thank you so much, Hayden, for being a Slowpoke tier patron. We literally could not do this show without your support, and we appreciate everything you guys send our way. Thank you so much.
I am unbeatable, I'll train until I meet my goal. If stakes are high, no, I won't fold, because I am unbeatable. Earning every badge, whatever it takes, I'm gonna be the best trainer, you just wait. And I know the road ahead looks like it won't be easy. I am unbeatable. Standing by my side, got my friends with me to explore a whole world of possibilities. But no matter what the challenge is, we can overcome it together. Because we are unbeatable, we'll train until we meet our goal. If stakes are high, no, we won't fold, because we are unbeatable. We are unbeatable, we'll train until we meet our goal. If stakes are high, no, we won't fold, because we are unbeatable.